Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're digging into something pretty big that's been causing ripples, well, more like waves, in the fintech space. And it's definitely more than just your average corporate news. We're talking about AIFEX. That's AIFEEX. They're an AI and blockchain tech company, and the buzz is about a potential, really significant move, listing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, the HKEX, possibly as soon as September. So yeah, let's unpack this for you. What does this really mean strategically, not just for AIFEX, but, for the whole financial scene? What doors does it open, especially for you? Maybe you're an investor looking for what's next, or maybe you're just fascinated by where finance is heading. Because this feels like more than just one company's IPO plans. It could be a major signal for digital assets generally.
You've hit the nail on the head. This is much more than just another company going public. What really makes it stand out, based on what we're seeing, is that combination AIS brings sophisticated AI, blockchain tech, and then this very strategic choice of AIFEX, a global capital hub. It suggests they're playing a bigger game here, aiming to maybe reshape things a bit.
Right, that strategic angle is key. So the HKEX listing itself, it's prestigious, sure, but it's not just about looking good, is it? What kind of hurdles does a company actually have to clear to get listed there? And how does succeeding really elevate AIFEX?
Oh, absolutely. Getting onto a top-tier exchange like HKEX, it's no small feat. You have to meet incredibly high international standards. We're talking serious financial muscle, proven operational strength, and really rigorous corporate governance. Think profitability track records, significant market cap, super strict rules on transparency, independent directors, internal controls. It's tough. It's designed to filter for only the most solid, well-run companies. So if AIFEX gets through that whole process, like a global stamp of approval, it tells the world very clearly, look, we're not just some crypto startup. We're a world-class financial technology firm, built properly with real potential in global finance. It's about earning serious credibility.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. That validation is huge. And that credibility, that must be what attracts the, let's say, more serious investors, this credibility leap you mentioned. How does that work practically?
Exactly. That leap is crucial. Think about the big institutional players. Pension funds, mutual funds, the big banks, sovereign wealth funds. These guys have strict rules, fiduciary duties, regulations. They have to be careful. Historically, they've been pretty cautious about digital assets, worried about volatility, rules, governance, all that stuff.
Understandably so.
Right. But an HKEX listing, that changes the conversation entirely. It signals AIFEX has passed muster. Financial stability, transparent operations, playing by international rules. It gives those big institutions the confidence they need, makes them much more willing to actually look into it, do their homework, and crucially, invest. It basically shifts AIFEX from being seen as maybe a risky crypto thing to a legitimate, regulated fintech investment you can access through familiar channels. It opens doors that were, frankly, bolted shut before for many digital assets.
That makes a lot of strategic sense. Credibility first. But okay, beyond the trust factor, where does the actual money come from? The new investment capital? And, maybe even more interesting, how could this whole thing affect their existing AIFEX token?
Well, the HKEX listing opens the floodgates, potentially. We're talking access to vast global capital, not just Asia.
Yeah.
Think Europe, the Middle East.
Yeah.
It taps into a much deeper, more diverse pool of money, brings in serious liquidity.
Okay.
But, and this is where it gets really interesting strategically, we're seeing strong indications that AIFEX plans to actually link its existing AIFEX token, which is already functional within their own ecosystem, link it directly with the company's stock on the HKEX. Now, that is ambitious, very innovative. If they pull it off...
Wow. Hold on. Linking the token and the stock. Okay, before we dive into that, maybe step back a second. This 8F ecosystem you mentioned. What is that exactly? And what does the AIFEX token do in it? You said it's functional. What makes it functional?
Right. Good point. Essential context. So the 8F ecosystem is AIFEX's own platform. It's AI-driven, runs on blockchain, built for secure, smart, decentralized finance applications. Think of it as their base infrastructure for next-gen finance. And within that system, the AIFEX token isn't just for speculation. It's a utility token. You actually need it to use the platform's features. Like, you might use it to pay transaction fees, or access special AI-powered data analytics, or maybe vote on platform changes, or even stake it for rewards and network security. So it has real demand and value inside the AIFEX world, even before you think about linking it to SOC.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. So it has its own job to do already.
Exactly. Now, back to the linking idea. The potential mechanism here involves something called arbitrage. Imagine the token and the stock are linked, right? But maybe their prices drift apart temporarily. Say the stock price jumps on HKEX because of strong investor interest, but the AIFEX token price on crypto exchanges lags a bit. Smart investors would spot that difference. They could buy the cheaper one, the token in this case, and maybe sell the pricier stock, or vice versa, depending on the gap. This buying and selling pressure naturally pushes the two prices back towards each other.
Ah, like a self-balancing mechanism.
Precisely. If they design it right, it could create this constant pressure for the token and stock prices to stay aligned. It reduces volatility in both. And importantly, it creates this ongoing built-in demand for the AIFEX token itself, linking its value directly to the performance and perception of the publicly traded company. It makes the token's value proposition much stronger, much more stable. It's quite clever, actually.
Wow, okay. That is clever. A really different layer to the strategy. It definitely sets them apart. So what does this mean for how investors will look at AIFEX? You've got the traditional folks and the crypto folks. Sounds like a big perception shift for both.
It is, yeah. A dual shift, really, with big implications. For your traditional market investors, the ones may be wary of crypto's Wild West reputation. They'll start seeing AIFEX differently. They'll see a leading fintech company, AI plus blockchain, operating within a regulated framework thanks to HKEX, making it look like a much more legitimate, promising way to invest in the digital economy.
The HKEX listing provides that comfort level.
Exactly. And then for the crypto-native investors, the AIFEX token transforms. It stops being just another digital coin bouncing around on crypto exchanges. It could become one of the very first tokens that's directly, systematically tied to its parent company's stock on a major global exchange. That completely changes how you'd value it, its potential stability, its long-term prospects. It offers a unique mixed digital asset innovation plus traditional market grounding.
It really does sound like they're trying to build a solid two-way bridge, connecting the old financial world, TradFi, with the new DeFi world. We hear that talked about a lot, but this feels much more direct, more integrated.
That's exactly the ambition here and why analysts are watching so closely. It's a very deliberate, very sophisticated attempt to bridge TradFi and DeFi. People have talked about this holy grail for ages, merging the stability and rules of traditional markets with the speed and innovation of blockchain.
Right.
But actually doing it systemically, integrating them like this, it's mostly been theory. Lots of hurdles, regulatory, technical.
Right.
So if AIDX actually pulls this off, the potential is just immense. It could create a whole new way for people to invest, appealing to everyone from cautious pension funds to die-hard crypto fans. It connects the two worlds.
So it's not just good for AIEX, it could be a model for others.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It's about getting the best of both the trust and deep capital pools of TradFi, combined with the efficiency and innovation of DeFi, making them work together.
Okay, so this sounds pretty unique then. Has anyone done something quite like this integrated token stock model before? How is this different from, say, Coinbase going public? Or maybe companies like Zero or Bakkt? People might be thinking of them.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction to make because AIFEX is trying something different here. Take Coinbase. Huge listing on NASDAQ, sure. But they listed stock in Coinbase, the company, the exchange. They don't have their own functional utility token like AIFEX. It's woven into their platform and then systematically linked to that stock price. Coinbase stock reflects their business success, not really a specific linked token's value in the same way.
Okay, different structure.
Right. And then Zero, or Banked, also different models again. Zero is focused more on security tokens, which represent ownership in real-world assets like equity or property under specific regulations for those. Banked started heavily with regulated Bitcoin futures and custody services. They're important bridges, absolutely, but they don't quite have that model of a functional, widely used utility token from their own ecosystem being deliberately and systematically tied to their main company stock on a major exchange like HKEX. AIFEX's edge, their key differentiator, is having that functional AIFEX token already. Like we discussed, it does things, people use it within their 8F system. It wasn't just created to raise money. It has inherent utility. That makes the foundation for this stock linkage much, much stronger.
That existing utility is the key.
It really is. And if they execute this successfully, it could genuinely be the first time we see this kind of comprehensive ecosystem functional token, major exchange stock, all integrated. It's not just listing near a token, it's trying to harmonize them structurally. Just picture this for a moment for yourself as an investor. You've got this tech company on the HKEX, solid, regulated, but its core engine is this advanced AI and blockchain platform. And here's the kicker, you have a choice. If you like traditional markets, buy the stock, get exposure that way. If you prefer digital assets or want to be closer to the platform's actual usage, you hold the AIFEX token, knowing its value is tied to the company's success and its utility. It genuinely opens the door, creates that real working bridge between old and new finance. It lets both traditional investors and crypto folks tap into AI and DeFi growth, but with the stability and liquidity of a regulated market. AIFEEX seems to be positioning itself almost as a new kind of financial institution, AI-powered, straddling both worlds. It's unprecedented, really, maximizing appeal across the board.
Okay, so wrapping this up for you listening. If this AIFEEX HKEX listing goes ahead as planned, it's clearly way more than just raising cash. We're talking a huge credibility boost, access to serious global money, and potentially a really powerful new story for the whole industry.
Absolutely. Strategically, it's foundational. It's about genuinely trying to connect these two massive but often separate financial worlds in a practical way that hasn't really been done before at this scale.
Yeah.
It's turning a big idea into something potentially tangible.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question for you to think about. If this token stock ecosystem that AIFEX is building actually works, if it meets regulatory approval and investors buy into it, could this become the new blueprint? Could it totally reshape how we think about investing in digital assets and maybe even all financial assets down the road? Definitely something fascinating to keep a close eye on.